Okay, and we are live. Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? I hope everybody is well. Sunday evening, 7:30 p.m. Stuart here, and we're going to go through some of the main news stories that have caught my attention over the weekend. Of course, the last video was on Friday, and we'll have a quick look at the news because there are a few important things happening at the moment, especially when it comes to the transport strike and things like that. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then we'll also have a look at a few of the comments that were left on Friday's video as well. Now, don't forget to be as active if you can in the chat section there to the right. Let's try and get the chats happening. And I'll be taking a look at a few of the chats later during the video. Remember that you can support the channel with a super sticker or a super chat. So if you feel like doing that, please feel free. Now, we'll go through the comment section here, or the chat section quickly, see who's in the chat section. Babs is here from Wales. Very dry in Wales for a change, she says. Amanda's on the border, also surprised that it didn't rain today. Matt J. was from Michigan. Hello, how are you? Dirk from Villajoyosa. Barbara there as well. St. 2 Pete and Richard saying that he's the first. Well, you're not the first, Richard. I think you're about the 5th or the 6th through today. But anyway, doesn't matter. Steve, hello. Stuart, how are you? Stan, greetings from Poland. Stan, how are you there in Poland? Hope all is well. Now, we'll go through the first piece of news, and we'll have a look quickly and see what it is here. And the first piece of news that we have today, almost 25,000 police mobilized as pickets try to disrupt supplies in Spain's Hauliers strike. So the Spanish government has mobilized 16,476 Guardia Civil, 7,000 national police officers to prevent violent behavior from the pickets during the protest by Hauliers, and says it is prepared to take action to protect supplies. Pickets have been gathering at strategic points such as the entrances to markets and ports and blocking roads to stop lorries getting through. And the dairy industry has already been forced to suspend its activity because it lacks the necessary supplies to produce its products. Now, this is something that we mentioned last Sunday as fake news because it was not an official strike. Apparently, according to the government, it is a small group of radicals that are disrupting the supply chain, stopping trucks from getting out of companies and factories on the road. And as we saw there, they have deployed 25,000 police to try to make sure that these trucks get through, get the products onto the back of them, and then get them into the supermarkets and the other shops around the country. The government, as I said, not negotiating with this particular group as far as I know. They're refusing to negotiate, saying that they are an extreme sector, far right, I think were the words used by the government last week to discredit this organisation. And I don't know whether that's true or not. They could be right. And some former politicians coming out and saying that these transport workers need to show solidarity, considering that they were a sector that was able to work during the pandemic, and now they are creating problems because of rising fuel costs. So a fight going on there between these radicals, let's say, and the government. And as I said, the government not willing to negotiate with these people that they consider to be causing the chaos by not letting those trucks hit the streets. Excuse me, something in the back of my throat. Now we'll go into the chat section here. See what's happening. Different people coming through now. Plenty of action in the chat section. Let's have a look here. Patrick from California. Let's have a look here. Saludos del sur de California. 64 degrees Fahrenheit, 17 degrees Celsius. About the same as here yesterday, Patrick, to be honest. Yesterday was a fantastic day here in Spain. Not too bad. Brian's coming in here from Seattle. Hello from Seattle. Hello, Brian. How are you? We've got Carol from wet, windy, and cold Estepona. So the weather, obviously, not good in the south of Spain. And I think rain is forecast this week, all week here in Madrid. So maybe you guys are in the same boat down there on the coast. Not 100% sure, Carol. Now we'll go on to the second piece of news, which is related to the first one. We saw the first piece of news, 25,000 police officers deployed in order to help get those supplies through. And we'll go on to the second one here. The Vox demonstrations all over Spain protest against price rises. Government must resign, they say. So several demonstrations have been repeated in the town halls of the provincial capitals against the rise in the price of energy, supplies and basic products, to the cry of government resign, in a call led by Vox and its union Solidarity. According to Europa Press, sources from the government delegation in Madrid, some 2,500 people attended the rally carrying banners of Resign Now, Sanchez. They are ruining us, in the Plaza de Cibeles in the center of Madrid. So Vox, which as we know is the rising political party here in Spain, getting people onto the streets to protest against the government. And as I said a minute ago, the government blaming the strike actions on the far right. So Vox getting its people into the street. Government must resign, they say. And resign now, Sanchez. So Vox using its position as an increasingly popular opposition party. Of course, the main opposition party here in Spain is the Partido Popular. But as we know, Vox growing in recent elections in Andalusia, places like Murcia as well, Castilla y León in the recent elections. Vox now in the government there, in a coalition government. And yesterday getting some 2,500 people onto the streets here in Madrid to protest against the rise in energy costs. So people unhappy. And today there is also a huge demonstration in various cities around the country. Rural Spain has decided to protest against those increase in energy costs and the like. And there is a general, let's say, people are not happy, let's say, here in Spain, or a lot of sectors are not happy with what's going on and are starting to protest. So bad news for the government there. Now we'll go on to the chat section here again. We've got Hike Ranger from Scottsdale, Arizona. Richard in the comment section as well, active there. Kathleen, let me have a look here with this one. Kathleen, evening Stu, enjoyed the chat with Anna. Love Benidorm, coming in May, can't wait. Well, that's the video that I released earlier today with Anna from Benidorm. I think her channel's name is Benidorm by Anna, so check her channel out. And we had a chat the other day about what's happening in that part of the world. As we know, Benidorm, one of the most popular tourist resorts here in Spain. And Anna on the ground in Benidorm. And Kathleen saying that she's traveling there in May and can't wait. Well, luckily, you're traveling in May, Kathleen, because the weather at the moment apparently in that part of the world, not very good. We've got Janice from Belfast, Janice Garcia. We've got Pamela here from Murcia. So plenty of people active in the chat section at the moment and 139 people watching live. So good to see everybody out there today. Now we'll go on to the next piece of news, the third piece of news of 4. And it's about the recent change of face by Spain when it comes to its support of the West Sahara area. We can see here that Spain and gas supplier Algeria hit standoff over disputed territory. Algeria, Spain's biggest natural gas supplier, recalled its ambassador to Madrid for consultations after the Spanish government took Morocco's side in a North African territorial dispute. The friction over the status of Western Sahara could spell trouble for Spain at a time when countries across Europe are seeking alternative sources of gas after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Spain signalled on Friday that it backs Moroccan plans to grant limited autonomy to the territory, which has been a historic source of tension with Algeria. So basically, Spain deciding to fix relations with Morocco, and Algeria not happy about that because they are on opposing sides, Morocco and Algeria, over that Western Sahara region. And as we can see here, Algeria deciding to recall its ambassador in Madrid. So tensions there. And as we saw, not good, because we know that Spain is looking to increase gas supplies from places other than Russia. And Algeria was hopefully going to be the big source of gas, which it currently is. But we don't know whether this current dispute with Algeria is going to affect that. And basically, Spain has done a backflip on who they were supporting in that West Saharan dispute. They were more on the side of Algeria before. Now they've changed. They've gone onto the side of Morocco at the weekend. Morocco very, very happy about that, which we'll see in the moment. So Spain mending diplomatic ties with Morocco. And unfortunately, the cost is a bit of friction between Spain and Algeria. So friends with one and you lose your friendship with the other, which is the way things work in that part of the world, apparently. We'll have a look at this next article, which is related. Spain is back on the right track. Morocco celebrates its resounding diplomatic victory. Morocco is celebrating its resounding victory on the diplomatic chessboard after beating Spain in a historic battle. From Washington to Madrid, passing through Berlin, Paris, and other capitals that weigh on the international chessboard, the Sahara autonomy solution is gaining notoriety and Moroccan diplomacy is gaining presence and leadership, summarized the Moroccan media, i.e. 360, one of the digital newspapers closest to the palace. So, as I said there, Morocco celebrating, Algeria not at the moment. So, interesting to see where this is going to go. And people are saying that it's also going to create more tension within the coalition government, because the coalition partner Podemos is a supporter of West Saharan independence. So Spain going backwards or in a different direction, let's say, when it comes to that disputed territory there in the north of Africa. Now back into the comment section here, we've got Byron. Hi Stuart. Hello Byron. Richard D from Florida, USA. Eric Arthur. Let's have a look at this one here. Hi Stuart, there are protests across Spain on Thursday by the self-employed autonomos. Would be great if you can cover this and give it some traction. Yeah, I'll look into it, Eric. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but I have heard that the self-employed sector is also unhappy about the increase in prices, and they're demanding that the government do something, which the government is unwilling to do until the 29th of this month. And I think that's when they've said that they are going to start to act in lower prices, especially on fuel and things like that. Fuel prices have come down in recent times. They've come down a few cents. We're not talking about, fuel coming down by 10, 15 cents, 20 cents a litre, but 3, 4, 5, 6 cents a litre, the price of fuel has come down. So we'll see what happens. And I will keep an eye, Eric, on the problems with the self-employed sector, the autonomos, and we'll see if we can give that some traction. We've got some more comments coming through from Eamon. Ireland is bright today. Good news there, Eamon. If the weather is good in Ireland, the weather here today is not good. So that's something that Ireland today has in favour of Spain. We've got Andy coming through from Puyallup, USA. I imagine that's how you pronounce it, not 100% sure. And more comments coming through from different people all around the world. All right, good. Now we'll go into a comment that was left on the video the other day. Have a bit of a chat about it. First one. Hi Stuart, in Estepona today, Mercadona has full shelves. Carrefour mostly full, but no milk, for example. Aldi, a disaster with empty shelves. Yeah, so this is the situation that we've had, that people were worried about supply shortages with some goods in supermarkets. And as we can see here, Mercadona full shelves, Carrefour mostly full, but no milk, for example. And the reason there's no milk, obviously, because producers are having trouble getting it into the supermarkets. Somebody said the other day, or a milk producer said, that he had to destroy thousands and thousands of litres of milk because there was no getting it out of off his farm. And that's one of the reasons for the milk shortage. And the other reason is that people were going crazy buying milk. I saw somebody at a supermarket last Friday walking out with about 30 litres of milk. So he's obviously stocking up for a rainy day. And I imagine that other people are also doing something similar. And that's the reason why there's no milk on the shelves. But apart from that, I think everything else is okay. I saw the supermarket yesterday. There was plenty of fruit, plenty of fruit and veg, plenty of fresh meat, plenty of things on offer. But milk a little bit in short supply because the producers can't get it into the factories to be shipped off to the supermarkets. That's the problem that we have, and hopefully this dispute will come to an end sooner rather than later. All right, good. Now we'll have a look at some more chat here. One here from Rory. So what did the Spain government spend on all the EU COVID donations already? Don't know what we're talking about there, Rory. Another one here from Welsh Todo. We're entering a global recession and prices for everything will go up. What's Vox's solution? To be honest, Welsh Todo, I have no idea what Vox's solution is. Basically, they want the government to lower taxes on things like fuel and energy. That's what they are saying that the government need do. And of course, the government does have margin to do that. With VAT at 21%, they could lower that down to 10 or even lower, for example. And they could also do something to, well, they're trying to do something to get the energy costs under control. But Vox, as we know, when you are in the opposition, you are entitled to protest. And that's what they're doing and putting the pressure on the government, I believe. Do they have any solutions? Well, obviously they must have some. Don't know what they are. But as I said, gaining in popularity, Welsh Toto. So a lot of people saying that Vox is a solution for government in this country. Or maybe it's a protest vote. Don't know. That's another thing that we could put out there. All right, we'll have a look at another comment. St. Pete to Madrid. Looks like my timing was good on leaving Madrid for a few months to visit the States. Cold, rainy weather, dust, sandstorms, truckers' strikes. Hopefully things will be better in May. Dave, yeah, well, as we can see here, Dave, that's what we've had basically. Cold, rainy weather, yes. Dust, sandstorms, yes. Truckers' strikes, yes. Problem after problem after problem. And maybe a good time to get out and come back when the weather's a little bit better in May. Dave, could be a good idea. But we are in the middle of something at the moment that hasn't been seen for a long time with these high inflation prices, and that is setting off chain reactions with other problems as well. And the government needs to act. That's what people are saying. The government needs to act. And the sooner they do, the sooner these protests will die down. Hopefully. Now let's have a look here at some more comments. Mugger. Buying in Spain as I'm retiring and it's more affordable. Also, I suffer from osteoarthritis and hope the warmer climate will alleviate some of the pain. Sorry to see that you suffer from those pains there. And no doubt, Mugger, the good weather, the warm weather will help those problems that you do have. It's one of the reasons a lot of people do come to warmer climates for health issues. And of course, Spain with that Mediterranean climate down there, maybe in the some colder winter months, you might get a bit of humidity, cold humidity, but the rest of the year I'm sure would be fine. All right, now we'll have a look at another comment here. Let me have a look. Customer. Here in this part of the region of Murcia by the coast yesterday saw fuel prices drop from the previous 180 per litre of diesel in the morning to 173. It was 186 a couple of days before. So that's that price drop when it comes to fuel that I was talking about a minute ago. The price has dropped a few cents, so down from 180 to 173, or 186 at its peak, down to 173. And I think here in Madrid, we've also seen the price drop from 186, 187, maybe a little bit more, down to 181, maybe even 180 at one of the low-cost gas or fuel stations in the region. So fuel prices coming down slightly, but still not enough, I imagine, to satisfy people that are protesting with the high prices. And as we know, lots of people protesting at the moment because of those high prices. Now we'll go into the chat section again, see what's happening here. Plenty of action in the chat. We've got Steve's giving his opinion on Mugger. Don't think Spain is as cheap as you might think. Everything has gone up here, and some prices are even more expensive than UK. So it's no longer the 30% cheaper option that it used to be. That could be true, Steve. A few years ago, Spain was a cheaper country. We have seen an increase in prices over the last few years. And of course, if you are coming from the UK, it won't be that cheap paradise that it was when you had a good exchange rate a few years ago. But the weather's the key, I suppose, Steve, for somebody that is looking to get a better life quality because of that health issue. I think Spain can offer that Mediterranean weather, as I said, that the UK cannot. So if you are coming from a colder country, north of Europe, United Kingdom, Spain does still offer that. So that's positive, even though you're right, the cost of living is not what it used to be, and Spain is not the cheap country that it used to be. But some things are still cheaper, I must say. Some things are still cheaper. All right, good. We'll have a look at another comment here. One here from Hank. In the UK, strikes have always been blamed on the left. It's easier to apportion blame than to solve the problem. Absolutely right, Hank. Easier to lay blame on others than solve the problem. And that's what's happened. As you can see, strikes blamed on the left. Here in Spain at the moment, they're blaming them on the right, the extreme right. And in the past, the Partido Popular Party, whenever they're in power, and a lot of people hit the streets, the strikes, they are blamed on the left, of course. So always easier to blame the opposition. And but basically that's the opposition's job, isn't it? To take to the streets when they don't agree with something that the government's doing or they think the government should do. Get people onto the streets to protest, and that's what Vox is doing at the moment here in Spain. Not the Partido Popular, I don't think. So that's interesting also. But anyway, now we'll go into the chat section again here. Let's have a look here quickly if we can find one. So many chats coming through, it's not easy to keep up with them. Let's have a look here. All right, let's have a look at this one here from Edie. Hi, Stuart from Portland, Oregon. I sent you a private message via Facebook Messenger regarding April. Edie, yeah, thanks for that. I don't check Facebook very often. That's my problem with Facebook. I'm not an active Facebook user. So if you want to get in contact with me, probably better spainspeaks@gmail.com or spainspeaks.com/contact if you want to get in contact with me for some reason, Edie, because as I said, not a big Facebook guy. I sometimes check it, but it's also similar with Instagram. I just have too many options open and it's not easy to keep up with all of them. So if you want to get in contact with me, Edie, try the website or the email option better than Facebook. That would be my advice. All right, good. Now we'll have a look at one final comment here. Let's get it up on the screen. And it's from Layla. Hi, Stuart. For the person asking regarding fresh cream, they sell it in Mercadona. It's in the section with the butter and the yogurts in my store. As for red wine, again, Mercadona, the Governor, €240, and really nice. Now, we had somebody the other day ask about, ask about fresh cream in Spain. And I said that I have never seen fresh cream. I've only ever seen the UHT variety. Then again, I'm not a big fresh cream. I don't really care whether it's fresh or whether it's UHT. I'm not a big cream eater. So that's probably why I haven't really noticed the fresh stuff. But I did do a search online and I saw that there are a couple of brands. Now, I don't know where they sell these brands, but one of them is a milk brand called Priegola. They sell fresh cream apparently, but again, not sure where the outlets are for that fresh cream. And Layla, of course, saying here that Mercadona has fresh cream in the butter and yogurt section. So it can be found. But then again, I've never really looked for it before. And the person the other day, can't remember who it was, but they said that they've only ever found UHT at Carrefour, and at Mercadona I also think they mentioned. So UHT, the most popular variety, also when it comes to milk. So you'll see hundreds of different types of UHT milk, but fresh milk will always be very limited. So even in a supermarket like Mercadona, which is the most popular supermarket here in Spain, you'll only have one or two fresh milk options. They're normally the home brand of Mercadona, but you have 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes more varieties of UHT milk because that's what Spanish people drink. They drink UHT milk. They haven't normally drunk fresh milk over the years unless they're on a dairy, I suppose. But in supermarkets here, fresh milk, UHT milk has always been the dominant milk, and fresh milk easier to buy now, but a few years ago it was quite difficult to buy fresh milk, and therefore fresh cream, obviously the same problem. But Mercadona, according to Dana, you can get fresh cream. So anybody looking for fresh cream for their cakes, Mercadona is the place to go apparently. Now, we'll come up and have a quick look at the chat section here. Lots of chat going on. As I said, not easy to keep up with what's going on here, but we've got plenty of comments. So we'll have a look here at one from City Fan. I hope Vox eventually follow the trend of parties like CIS, Podemos, and eventually lose their popularity, and the centrist parties are strong again. Yeah, City Fan, that's the general consensus here. I think that the more extreme parties that have popped up, or some of the smaller parties, for example, Ciudadanos, Podemos, Vox, for example, will disappear in coming years. And we can see that that's definitely been the trend with the Citizens Party and with Podemos, that their popularity went up, hit a peak, and then it went down. Some people say it's because they went into coalition governments with those stronger parties, the PSOE party, the Partido Popular, and that means that they have a lot of their supporters have dropped off. So we can see the Citizens Party, they were in coalition governments in different places around the country. That's no longer the case, I don't think. I think only Andalusia, they continue in a coalition government, and maybe in the next elections they could even disappear from down there as well. Don't know, time will tell. But that's what's happened in Castilla y Leon. It's what's happened in Murcia. So those parties do seem to get less popular as the years go by. And the same with Podemos. When Podemos went into the coalition government centrally, the popularity dropped off in other places. Castilla y Leon, Galicia, they've almost disappeared. In Catalonia, I think they've almost disappeared as well. So the popularity has dropped off. And as I said, what will happen with Vox? Don't know. It could something similar could happen once they get into a coalition government with the Partido Popular in Castilla y Leon. Maybe the next elections their popularity will drop off, but at the moment they're on their way up, as we have seen. So again, as I always say, time will tell. Now, I'm going to start to wrap the live stream up. Been going now for around 27 minutes. We'll have a quick look in the comment section, see if there's anything I can pull out there. Lots of comments coming in. We have got one here from Patrick. Let's put this one up on the screen. Gasoline is $6.50 here, and food is extremely expensive. Things about twice what they were a year ago. Similar here in Spain. Patrick, don't know where you are, whether you're in the States or Canada. I suppose it's the States, but a lot of places experiencing the same problems at the moment with that high inflation around that 7.4% mark last month, and we'll see what it is this month, and I think it's something similar there in the States as well. So that's the increase in prices, fuel, and other things that rely on transportation to get them into the supermarkets, basically. Now, let's have a look here. Different things that are happening in the comment section, in the chat section 60. We've got here one from Mark, retirement at 60, no foreign truckies. Let's see what's going on here. Well, we've got a few comments here. I've got to choose one that's not too controversial. Let's have a look if we can find one here. Plenty of comments coming through. Let's have a look at this one here from Carol. Spent November, January in the US, and our food expenditure was more than double what we spend here in Spain. There we go. The United States quite expensive when it comes to food. And again, that's the debate. Is Spain a cheaper country or not than the rest? That's the question. And when you compare those prices when you get back home, but we saw somebody earlier also say that maybe Spain is not as cheap as it used to be. Definitely the case, but I don't think anywhere is as cheap as it used to be. And if you want expensive prices, of course, go to Australia, where they're talking about paying $7 for a coffee in the near future. So if you think Spain's expensive, where we're paying 160 for a coffee in euros, try going to Australia where they're talking about coffee prices hitting $7 a cup, not to mention the $2 per litre price barrier for fuel, smashed a couple of weeks ago down there in Australia. So prices going up everywhere. That's just the way it is at the moment. So I'll start to say goodbye. 30 minutes are up. I hope everybody has had a fantastic Sunday. Thank you very much for watching the video. I'll see everybody in tomorrow's video, a normal routine video tomorrow. So hopefully people will watch that one. Don't forget to leave your comments on this one. If you have any comments, don't forget to contact me directly if you have any questions you would like to ask. And I'll see you all in the next live session, which is going to be Thursday, 7:30 p.m. So until then, normal videos throughout the week. Live video again on Thursday. So we'll see you all there. Hopefully then. Hasta luego.